Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be covering my simple retirement number app that I'm going to be putting out on the Google Play Store. I just finished, I thought I was recording this, but apparently I never hit the record button, so we're going to be doing take two here. So in this video, we're going to be covering my new simple retirement number calculator. Now, I see a lot of investors out there just putting, a couple hundred, $50, $10 into the market, not really having a goal in mind. I see other YouTubers out there, one channel in specific that's talking to investors out there, know your retirement number. And a lot of investors say, hey, how do I find out my retirement number? But the question gets asked, but it never gets answered. So I went ahead and I wanted to put a calculator together for investors that I could refer to and say, hey, if you want to know what your retirement number is, use this calculator, find out what your number is, find out how much money you need to be investing every single week, every single month, every single year in order to hit your retirement number. So that's what we're going to be covering in today's video. So if you are brand new to the channel, I do make stock market, personal finance, real estate, and application-based videos every single week. So consider subscribing, and let's go ahead and get into it. And of course, if you do like the video, give it a thumbs up below, share it with your friends. I should be putting out this app and then putting the link in the description below once I actually have it out. So let's go ahead and hit play. What this app does, it's going to give you a fun little quote that I kind of came up with. Better to be young without money than be old and broke. Now, I have a couple random quotes that it kind of picks up that I kind of created. Better to be young without money than old and broke. That's one I just kind of came up with. You are in control of your own financial future. Your financial future. We spend hours upon hours watching movies and shows, but how long do we actually spend building our financial education? And hey, I'm proud of you. You're taking action. You're taking initiative. So that was sort of something I wanted to include there, just as those. Downloading the app, finding out what their retirement number is. I want to add a couple other quotes in there. If you guys have any suggestions, if you guys would like to leave a suggestion in the comment section below that you guys would like to see in the application, let me know. Just put it in the comment section or email me at thefinancialinvestor101@gmail.com. But nothing trademarked, obviously, because none of that. So I will have another screen in between here that you have to tap to continue on. In this other screen, I haven't put it in yet. I will end up putting it in here in just a minute. But I'm going to have it, so it's going to come up with assumptions. So our assumption is the pre-retirement rate of return. So prior to kind of going in, you're going to be investing against inflation, and you're going to be investing with a rate of return of roughly 7%. So 7% is your rate of return minus inflation. That puts you with a rate of return of 4% per year. Now, once we go into retirement, we're going to be withdrawing some money. We're still going to be battling that inflation number. We're still going to be getting a rate of return of 7% on our money that we have in there. So we're going to go over a little bit of that here, step by step, of what this calculator does, and go from there. If you guys have any suggestions at any time, if you notice that something is hard to understand, or you would like to put in other information here, let me know in the comment section below. I could always add it to my notes, my app notes, and kind of come up with something here in the future and an update and have that included. But for now, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. Rate of return of 7%, inflation of 3%, and just let you punch in 4 things. That's all it needs. So current age, I'm gonna go off myself. I'm 33 years old. How old do I want to be when I retire? Well, we'll say, for example, that I want to take advantage of my Roth IRA. I want to take advantage of my Roth 401k, and both of those become 100% tax-free at 59.5. So in this example, we're going to go ahead and say 60. So that gives me 27 years of retiring, 20 years of investing. Now, how long do I plan to live in my retirement phase? Well, that's a hard number to predict. In this example, I'm going to say that I'm going to live up till the age of 90. That is 30 years in retirement. I may end up living longer, but for the most part, we're going to shoot for 90. With technology the way it is and medicine the way it is, we could end up aging to the age of 120, 130, who really knows. Our annual withdrawal, we're going to say that we want to live comfortably, and this is based off inflation. This calculator automatically assumes inflation and all of that, average returns and all sorts of information. So our annual withdrawal at the start of retirement is $70,000. Now, $70,000, we always have to take into account that we may have some other sources of income in retirement. We may have disability. We may have Social Security. We may have rental income. We may have veteran disability, veteran benefits and such. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can have in retirement that could offset how much exactly you need in your Roth 401k, your Roth IRA. So we'll say that we have $20,000 of rental income coming in. So that'll reduce our number to $50,000. And then we may or may not have Social Security in the future, depending on how that all goes. I don't like to plan for it, but in this example, we will plan for it. We'll say that we get paid roughly $1,000 in Social Security, multiply that by 12. That is $12,000. So we go ahead and remove $12,000. That leaves us with $38,000. Now, $38,000 is how much we're going to be withdrawing every single year from our Roth 401k, our Roth IRA, plus we're going to be getting $20,000 per year in our rental income, plus we're going to be getting $1,000 per year from our Social Security. So this is just how much we need from our Roth IRA, Roth 401k. Now, how much is that per month? Let's go ahead and bust out our handy dandy calculator. $38,000 by 12 should be roughly $3,100. Yeah. So $3,166.66 is how much we're going to be withdrawing from our Roth IRA or Roth 401k once we hit the age of 60. Now, if you withdraw this month after month after month after month, until indefinitely, that'll reach our number of $38,000. Now, what this calculator is going to do, let's go ahead and hit our calculate my retirement. It's going to spit out a number here. A lot of people think we need $1 million to retire. Well, if you actually have a goal in mind, this is how much money you actually need in retirement. Now, you're not going to be withdrawing all this money at once, so you're still going to be getting a rate of return in retirement off this number. So let's go ahead and punch it in. It's $647,080.90. That's how much money we're going to have at the start of our retirement. Now, every single year, we're going to be pulling out $38,000, but we're still getting a rate of return of 7%. But with inflation, that is 4%. So we're going to go ahead and increase this by 4%. So by the end of the first year, we would have withdrawn $38,000, $3,100 every single month. We still had rental income. We also have Social Security. That would be roughly a little over $5,500 per month, just based off our Roth IRA, Roth 401k, our rental income, our Social Security income. All of those together would have gave us roughly $70,000, or $5,500 per month. So we've removed $38,000 by the first year, but we've also, we've only been withdrawing $3,100 every single month, and we're still getting our average return of 4% per year. So our retirement went from $647 to now $638. Now again, we remove another $38,000 per year, but we're still getting a rate of return of right around 4%. So now we're back at $619, and it just does this over and over and over. That's not exactly how the calculator does it. It goes from 60 and says, okay, 60 is your starting point. $38,000 is how much you need to withdraw at $38,000, and then it adds 7% minus 3% for inflation for 61, 62, 63, 64, all the way to 90. And this 60 to 30 in 30 years, this is how much money you need to live for 30 years between 60 and 30 with a rate of return of 7% and an inflation number of 3. Withdrawing $38,000. Then it works backwards. Okay, now that we know how much money we need to live between 60 and 90, now we need to know how much money do we need to invest for 27 years at an average return of 7% with an inflation rate of 3% in order to hit this number. Well, if we were to invest $167 every single week for a year, that would be an annual investment of $8,687.52. And every year we put this in 8, 6, 87, 52 with the rate of return of 7%. Our first year, it would go up slightly. We should have a little over $9,000. Then we deposit another 8,000 some dollars and another 8,000 some dollars, and all of that is compounding with a 7% rate of return. We may be also getting paid out some dividends in there as well. And through the next 27 years, we will eventually, with a rate of return of 7% and our inflation of 3%, we will hit this number, $647,080.90 by the age of 60. And at that time, again, we can begin withdrawing $3,100 per month. We'll still be getting a rate of return of 7% minus the inflation, so we should have about a 4%. And that money will last us from the age of 60 all the way till 90, as long as we're keeping within our number of $3,100 or $38,000 per year. And that's completely tax-free. So that's what this calculator does. That's why I wanted to, have it out there. If there's any suggestions that you guys would like to see added in, if you want to have your own rate of return option here, if you want to have your own inflation number in here, but I wanted to keep it simple. I didn't want a whole bunch of options here for people to go. I will have that on I'll have like a menu page here, like another page will say that if assumptions, if you invest in the standard S&P 500 with an average return of 7%, with an inflation rate of 3%, and you invest and you follow these, guidelines, you should hit, somewhere within. I have to look at the disclaimer, what you need to actually disclaim in order to kind of do this right and not get in trouble. But this is all assumptions. This is all assumptions, but it goes off what our rate of return has been for the last 100 years. If you go back and look at the rate of return for the last 100 years, it's a rate of return of roughly 7%. Now our inflation, 3%, that's been much higher in the past. We've had inflation of 12%, we've had inflation of 16 and percentage back in the past. But currently, we're trying to keep an average rate of inflation of 2.2 to 3%. So I think shooting high at a 3% rate of inflation is pretty good, as well as shooting for an average return of 7%. And that is all I wanted to cover in today's video. So I'm going to be kind of wrapping this one up and putting it out on the Google Play Store for you guys to download, try it out. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, quote ideas, let me know. Drop them in the comment section. I always read every one of your guys' comments. And of course, if you have any other suggestions, I will always add them into my app notes as future updates. And that is it for this video. If you guys have enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up button below. Let me know in the comment section below if this is something that interests you. If you have any suggestions for other future applications, drop them in the comment section below or shoot me an email. I always like reading you guys' comments and emails. I get them all the time. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.